They say every road in Japan has a story, but there's one you should never drive after midnight, because if you see her standing there, you'll never make it home. Japan's darkest tales don't live in its cities, but in the silent roads between them, forgotten highways, misty tunnels, and places where even the air feels old. One such place is Route 42, known locally as Shinmei Road. It begins with a man named Ryo Tanaka, a 32-year-old delivery driver from Kyoto. He worked nights, driving through the countryside toward Osaka. Locals warned him about the road. They said people vanish there. Ryo just laughed. Ghost Lane, he called it. That night in late September, the rain hadn't stopped all day. The road shimmered like black glass under his headlights. He drove alone through the fog when his radio began to crackle. The old city pop song faded, replaced by a woman's whisper. Soft, distant, chanting. Ryo frowned and tapped the radio. What the hell? Then the headlights flickered. Ahead lay the Shinmei Tunnel, an old stretch where strange things had happened for decades. As he entered, the radio went dead. Not even static. Only silence. The tunnel lights flickered weakly, and Ryo's reflection in the glass lagged, like a delayed video. Then he saw her. A woman in a white kimono stood at the far end, her face pale, her hair long and dripping wet. Ryo slammed the brakes. The truck skidded, and she vanished. He sat frozen, breath shallow, the rain echoing inside the tunnel. Then the radio clicked back on, whispering one word. Ryo. He reached Osaka in silence. At home, he noticed something strange. His shoes were muddy, but the mud was black, thick as tar. He threw them away. A few nights later, Ryo took the same route again, this time with his coworker Satoshi. He didn't tell him what had happened. This road just feels wrong, was all he said. Satoshi chuckled. You're scared of a ghost? As they entered the tunnel, the headlights dimmed again. Satoshi laughed until his smile vanished. At the far end, the same woman stood waiting. Closer now. Her mouth stretched too wide, tearing at the corners, showing rows of blackened teeth. Her hollow eyes wept dark tears. The engine died. Both men froze as the woman tilted her head and disappeared. Ryo turned the key again. The truck roared to life. They burst out of the tunnel without looking back. Satoshi didn't speak the rest of the night. The next day, he didn't come to work. 2 days later, he was found dead. A heart attack, police said. But he'd been clutching a handful of black mud. Ryo refused to drive Route 42 again. Yet every night at 3 a.m., he woke to the sound of dripping water. There was no leak. Sometimes he saw movement in mirrors, a pale figure behind him. Finally, he told his story to Kenji, an old mechanic at the depot. Kenji listened quietly, his cigarette trembling. That road, he said, used to pass through a village. Shinmei Mura. Long ago they flooded it to build the highway. But there was a shrine they destroyed. Ryo frowned. A shrine? Kenji nodded. Dedicated to a guardian spirit. A woman who protected travelers. When the shrine was torn down, the first worker who touched her statue drowned. In black water. A chill crawled down Ryo's spine. They say she appears to drivers who enter the tunnel after midnight, Kenji said softly. Especially those who don't believe. That night, Ryo couldn't sleep. The air felt heavy. He got up, went to the bathroom, and splashed water on his face. When he looked up, she was there, behind him, smiling. He spun around. Nothing. But the mirror cracked down the center. The next morning, Ryo didn't show up for work. Calls went unanswered. When a coworker visited his apartment, the door was unlocked, the lights off. In the bathroom mirror, written in streaks of black mud, were the words, "He believed too late." Ryo was never found. His truck turned up near the Shinmei Tunnel, parked perfectly. Inside were wet footprints leading from the driver's seat into the tunnel. They stopped halfway and vanished. Locals say if you drive through Shinmei Tunnel around 3 a.m., your radio might go silent. And if you glance in the rearview mirror, you might see her, sitting quietly in the back seat, eyes fixed on you. They call her Onna no Noroi, the woman's curse. Truckers just call her the passenger. Even today, Route 42 remains one of Japan's most avoided roads at night. Every few years, someone disappears. A tourist, a delivery driver, a late-night commuter. All they ever find are traces of black mud, inside cars that are perfectly dry. Some stories are born from fear, others from truth. And some, like this one, never die.